Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into a fascinating and honestly kind of bizarre digital archaeological dig. It's called Access Denied, the fragmented reality of Manitoba news. We rely so heavily on local news, right? Weather, traffic, politics. It's the invisible infrastructure of our daily lives. But today, we're looking at a strange server phenomenon that is literally blocking vital local information across Manitoba, creating some very real blind spots for the community. Let's get into it.
If people don't feel safe, that is what matters. Now, the Winnipeg mayor recently shared this quote regarding a really concerning spike in downtown crime. And I mean, think about why this matters to you. If you're commuting, going out for the evening, or sending your kids to school, you need accurate crime stats to navigate your city safely. It's high-stakes stuff. But here's the catch. This quote is just the visible tip of a massive information iceberg. Because if you actually tried to read the rest of the CBC article about these crime statistics to, stay informed, well, you wouldn't get very far at all.
Okay, let's dive into this. You click the link, expecting a detailed breakdown of community safety, and instead, boom, you are abruptly cut off by this cold robotic block. You don't have permission to access this server. Think about how jarring that is. There's no context, no helpful redirection, just a digital slammed door. A highly relevant article about downtown safety, information that could literally change the route you walk home, is completely walled off. You're left entirely in the dark, right when you are actively seeking out the light.
And the wild thing is, this blackout isn't just limited to crime reports. It extends right into our democratic processes. Take the recent Manitoba Progressive Conservative platform, for example. They made a major, actionable political promise to fix and overhaul disability support services. Now, for voters, especially those relying on these services, reading those specific details is absolutely crucial before heading to the ballot box. But when you try to access the specifics of that promise, you hit the exact same unyielding Edge Suite server error, access denied, reference number 18-E8818, and so on. So whether it's city crime stats or major conservative platforms, the public is hitting a total brick wall.
So what is actually happening under the hood here? Well, an access denied message from the Edge Suite network is very different from your standard 404 page not found error. We've all seen a 404. That usually means a page was deleted or there's a typo, a mistake basically. But an access denied error, that is an active denial of permission. The server is completely acknowledging that the content exists right there on the other side, but it's explicitly saying, nope, you are not allowed to look at it. The information is perfectly intact, but it's deliberately locked away from the community it's supposed to inform.
And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer scale of the network lockout. We're not just dealing with an isolated glitch. It is a systemic netcast over a vast digital infrastructure. Just look at the variety of URLs caught in this scrape. We've got 4 major regional news sections wiped out, 3 specific departmental hubs gone dark, 2 live streams completely blocked, and even an essential local service caught in the crossfire. It's a massive blockade systematically dismantling access to daily content across CBC Manitoba.
Let's treat these blocked URLs like forensic evidence for a second to figure out what exactly we're losing. The locked departments include the CBC Manitoba News Tips page. I mean, think about the gravity of that. It completely severs a vital pipeline for whistleblowers. Imagine trying to anonymously report a safety hazard and just hitting a server error. Then you have specialized coverage like CBC News Indigenous in Northern Manitoba, CBC News getting blocked, effectively silencing underrepresented regional voices. It even blocks the I-Team, CBC Manitoba's dedicated investigative unit. The literal tools journalists use to uncover the truth are suddenly hidden behind an arbitrary permission error.
But you know what's truly startling? It isn't just static text articles getting caught in this net. Live feeds are being severed too. Even real-time broadcast URLs are returning identical server errors. And why is that so problematic? Well, think about a severe weather event or a breaking civic emergency. In those intense moments, you don't wait for an article to be published, you tune into live coverage. But if you try to stream Information Radio MB with Marcy Marcusa or the CBC News Live video player, nothing. The beating pulse of local broadcasting is entirely frozen out. Let's walk through the automated anatomy of this lockout together, step by step. Say you're waking up and you just want to quickly check the Winnipeg currents to see if you need a winter coat. Step 1. You make a basic request for a local URL. Super fundamental, everyday stuff. Step 2. Instead of getting weather data, your request is instantly hijacked and routed to errors.edgesuite.net. Step 3. You receive this unique reference number 18 alphanumeric code. It's a completely mechanized path to failure. Even something as simple as checking the weather follows this exact, infuriating three-step march straight into a digital brick wall.
This is what I've been calling the data wall. On one side, you have the lifeblood of community awareness, crime statistics, indigenous news, live radio, deeply human things. And on the other side, Edge Suite reference codes 18.F318, 18.A1F4. You can literally feel the cold, robotic repetition of these codes overriding the human element. It is completely overwhelming. We started this explainer talking about human needs, safety, democracy, culture, and all of that human curiosity is just bouncing right off a perfectly uniform wall of bureaucratic machine code.
When you zoom out, this entire phenomenon really boils down to one simple, staggering number: 10. Think about the incredible breadth of what we've looked at today. Crime statistics, major political promises, daily weather data, investigative journalism pipelines, indigenous community voices, and the real-time urgency of live radio. That is 10 entirely different civic, political, and cultural source endpoints. 10 diverse, essential pillars of CBC Manitoba's digital presence, and every single one of them has been walled off by the exact same impenetrable digital barrier.
Which brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with for this explainer. It all forces us to ask an undeniable question. When vital local infrastructure, from downtown crime statistics to major political promises, is trapped behind a wall of code, what happens to the community that relies on it? It really makes you ponder the extreme fragility of these digital platforms we blindly trust. What happens when the tools we rely on to stay informed suddenly decide we no longer have permission to look? Thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope this encourages you to think critically about the unseen digital structures shaping exactly what we can and cannot see in our everyday lives.